it's your girl Yvette. I really haven't done a whole lot of videos. I've only done 2, so I decided I would do one on my way home driving. I'll make sure I keep my eye on the road for the most part, make sure I'm safe. Anyway, I just wanted to have a brief conversation or see what your thoughts are on DNA. And I just got through watching my niece, Tiana. Whoa. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I messed that one up. But I got through watching her tell the story of her doing her Ancestry.com DNA, and the story how her mom also did it as well, and her aunt. And I actually had my husband do it as well. So he did Ancestry.com as I did as well. Well, I think my niece is really funny in how she tells a story about finding out, actually, she found out that she had a brother she never knew about, nor did her dad. And through this DNA, and she knew it was pretty accurate because my husband came up on her DNA matches as people that she may be related to, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or even closer than that. So her aunt came up as being a close relative, possibly an aunt or what have you, and so did my husband, Cordell, came up as being a close relative. And I just find all this DNA stuff very interesting. I've actually done 3. I've done Ancestry.com or Ancestry DNA. I've done 23andMe. Then I actually did MyHeritage because I wanted to see from how closely it matched the other 2 DNA results. So I'm just a DNA fanatic, and I'm looking to really find my ancestry, where I come from. I actually want to know if I can go all the way back to a village in Africa. That's how much I am really interested in finding my where I come from in my DNA. So if you don't know, just I briefly touched on, my niece was telling the story of how she did her DNA, and as I said, my husband and her mom and her aunt also did it. So it all showed that she was really related to those people. It matched, her DNA matched theirs. But then there was one person who she didn't know that then later reached out to her, and it turned out to be her brother, her half-brother, who her father, my brother-in-law, did not know that he even had a son. It was over, 28 years ago. One of those things, And I say that to say my husband's story is also interesting as well, similar to that, where his mother and my father-in-law had a relationship. She got pregnant and then had my husband, and then because he was actually married at the time, and she actually, the wife, was actually pregnant at the same time as well. So my brother-in-law and my husband were about a month apart or so, a month. maybe 6 weeks apart. And it's a very juicy, interesting story. And my husband could probably tell it best. Him and his brother Vinny never met until they were in probably late 20s, maybe early 30s. And they were both in the Air Force at the same time, stationed at the same bases at the same time, but didn't know each other. And and then finally, you know, my husband got really interested to wanting to meet his dad, because he had never met his dad or his brothers or anyone on that side of the family. So he started looking for his dad, and then at the same time his dad was looking for him. And somehow him and his dad connected, and they spoke briefly but didn't really get together. And surely and understandably, Papa Jones, I call him Papa Jones, my father-in-law's wife, she was having a hard time with that. So he basically told, her dad that he really couldn't have a relationship with them at that point in time, because he didn't want to hurt his wife. So, but things changed later on, and they ended up, long story short, got together. My husband ended up meeting his brother, my brother-in-law Vinny, and when they tell the story, when they first saw my husband and just him walking up, he totally looked like his dad. Had the same walk, kind of have the little bow leg thing going on, and he's just a younger version of his father. So all that, I just find DNA just really interesting, and I wanted to share some of my results from all 3 tests. And they're all similar in how you take it. You spit into the tube and then seal it. It mixes in with the solution. You shake it. You mail it off. You do your profile on that particular website, and pretty much input your DNA kits. It has a number that comes with it, and you input it. So I will get back to you in a bit with the actual results of each test. So I first took 23andMe. That one's interesting because then it gives you all kinds of different test results of, like, are you likely to like the taste of cilantro? And it gives you, based on your DNA, if you would like to taste, or do you taste salt? I guess it's salt when you taste cilantro. Some people have that taste and then they don't like it. So, or are you lactose intolerant? That type of thing. And so 23andMe is interesting, and I give 23andMe a thumbs up on that piece of it. And actually, it's, I believe, like Ancestry DNA, it updates as they get in more, I guess, data or a bigger community to compare your DNA to. So 23andMe is pretty good. Then after that, I said, I want to see how right are these results? How accurate is this DNA? So I went ahead and took Ancestry.com and to see how to compare them both. And they were pretty similar. I had like 68, 69% Sub-Saharan African, and then like 28% of European. And then some other pretty interesting things that came up in the Ancestry.com one. It came up, I believe, in both. I had a small, very small percentage of Iberian, so I have a little bit of Spanish in me. Then there's a very tiny. Then I had traces of Caucasus. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That one was surprising because that comes from the region around Turkey. Then I have, of my sub-Saharan African, I have Nigerian, I have some Kenya, some, what is it, I have some Mali, I have Cameroon, a little bit small percentages, and then it actually does a mid or Central Africa and South Africa. I have some of that as well. And what I've learned or have heard, that if you are African American and you have traces of South African or East African, even Central African, that's very rare, because for the most part, African Americans come from trace their ancestry from slavery, and most of the slaves that came over were from West Africa, so Nigeria, and then I believe there's Ivory Coast, that area there. So it was interesting just to see that I did have a small percentage of South African and East African, even Central, around the area of Eritrean and then Ethiopia. Because I used to get some Ethiopians or Eritreans would think I was Ethiopian or Eritrean, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I was looking to see if I had any Asian, because I have a very big interest in Asia, in Hawaiian, Polynesian, and so I was so wanting to see if I had any of that. I have some East Asian, I have some I have to, I'll get back to you on that, on the actual percentages, but I just wanted to highlight what DNA tests I've done. The third one I did because I wanted a more of a real test of DNA, so to speak. Not to say that Ancestry.com and 23andMe are not real, but you know, the ones that you see like celebrities take, and even on that one PBS show, The Roots, where it shows where they really can dig down deep and really find out where you come from. I wanted something like that. Even on, if you've ever seen the George Lopez show, where he had that talk show, and he would actually do the DNA for celebrities that came on his show, and then give them the results. And I was like, well, why can't I? Which DNA company is that? I would really like to find out, because I want to see if I can get, you know, different results from what I already have. So I found MyHeritage. MyHeritage is an interesting company to do your DNA. Similar, like I said, to do the spit test and everything. So spit into the tube and everything. But I really, now that one, MyHeritage, it came back totally different than 23andMe. Came back totally different. Well, I would say totally, but some things it picked up that the other two tests did not. And let me tell you, it came back that I was had, like, the other two tests said I was Irish and English, Great Britain. It had a very, very small percentage of Great Britain Irish, probably, I think, 0, maybe. And it came back mostly that I was 28% no, I'll take that back. 32% Scandinavian. Norway, Sweden, those countries right there, that's where it said my ancestry came from. And I was shocked because on the other test, it had a very small, maybe 2-3% Scandinavian. And so that was totally different. So I don't know. Now I'm like confused. I don't know what to believe. So I'm looking if you guys can tell me of another test that might really be the tiebreaker, maybe, or give me more of a accurate test results. Which, you know, what should I take? So, and I was actually interested to take that African DNA test that strictly looks at your African ancestry, and it actually supposedly will pinpoint what tribe and so forth. And I wanted to look into taking that, but you know how much that is? That is a lot of money. It's $299 for that test. So I don't have the money right now to be spending on that, so I will wait on that one. But I'm looking for some other tests that you could take that would give you everything. And if I can, I'll do my research and find. But if you have some recommendations or suggestions, just, you know, let me know. And well, I'm halfway home, I guess, or somewhat halfway. I'm approaching downtown Las Vegas, and I work in Boulder City, and I live in Northwest. So I got like about a good, probably close to an hour commute home. In the morning, I'm there at 6:30, and so it takes me about 40 minutes to get to work. Anyway, but yeah, give me your recommendations. And out of the 3 tests, I really like Ancestry. So I like them all for different reasons. They have different features that the other one doesn't have. Well, maybe it does, but Ancestry.com has the biggest database of ancestry, where they have pictures of graves, of where they can show you where your great-grandmother or great-grandfather are buried, and they can show you a picture of that. And so, and then you can build your family tree on there. 23andMe may have a similar feature in that you could do your family tree. I have to look more into it, but 23andMe has a good feature with doing the different tests, like I said. And so you can find out for the BRCA, BRCA gene, it actually tests for that as well. So you can find out for your health if you're prone to that gene or any other health issues within your DNA. So it does that. So that's a good feature for 23andMe. And Ancestry does not do that. MyHeritage, that one has, you can build your family tree on that one, but then they want to charge you extra for different things. So, and Ancestry does too. Like if you want to go dig deep and try to find different documents like census and stuff like that, you do have to pay extra for that. But those are the highlights of what each test. MyHeritage is the only good different thing about that is it actually gave me something totally different that the other two tests did not. I'm a high percentage of Scandinavian. I don't know if I look like it or not, but anyway. That's pretty much it. I wanted to share that with you, and you know, some of the juiciness of my family, and I'm actually in a roundabout way trying to find and see if my dad has any kids out there that I don't know about. You know, I have a brother or sister or something. He says he might have a daughter, and I possibly have a brother, but I haven't seen that they're on any of those sites. I do have one close relative on, I believe it's Ancestry, that I've been trying to reach out to, and she's actually like a second cousin, so we share a great grandmother or great grandfather, great grandparent. So I was just interested to see who she has in her family tree. But anyway, that's all I have to say for now. That was 21 minutes of me just rambling on and on while I'm driving home in this traffic. But I will speak with you soon, and then I'll share with you in more detail of each of those tests. And then at the same time, if you have recommendations on a different DNA test other than those three, let me know. And subscribe. And I will speak with you soon. Take care. Bye.